Hello, hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to South Mountain YMCA's online classes. My name is Becky, and today we're going to be doing another camp craft. I will tell you right now off the bat, this one's a little bit more involved detail-wise. It might take you a couple days to complete it, but we are going to be making these. They're tic-tac-toe boards with things that we can find in nature. So that's what we're going to be making today. Very, very cool. Now, again, all of this stuff is found in nature, and all of the stuff that I have here, I found around camp. So maybe your supplies might be a little bit more limited, but that's okay, because really you can make these your own. We're crafting here. So, find what you can in your home, and you can make it however you want with the supplies that you have. So for instance, I'm going to show you guys real quick. You don't have to use this log if you don't have like a wood cookie. We call them wood cookies, or like a piece of log. You don't have to use that if you don't have a chainsaw available to go cut one down yourself, or anything like that, or a table saw or something. You could always just use a piece of cardboard. You could use a piece of fabric. Here's a good one. Here's a simple one where they just used a piece of burlap fabric and just, painted on some X's and O's and everything like that. And that fabric, that burlap's actually the bag that it goes in. So that's a really cute on-the-go thing. I'll be honest, this is less on the go. This is a big piece of wood, so carrying this around with you might get a little awkward. It's better if it's like a centerpiece or maybe in the kids' room type thing. It's gonna have a home somewhere, out on the porch, out in the backyard, something like that. It's rustic looking, but it's definitely not always portable. But it's very, very cool. Something for everyone, Everyone's gonna have their hands in this craft. You're gonna need a lot of help with it if you're gonna do it. So, let's talk about supplies, what we need first. So we are going to make this one with this giant wood cookie, okay? So I first have giant wood cookies. A very nice person named Dale helped me cut these. I found this log near our woodshed, and I kind of liked how the bark was kind of falling off of it. It kind of had a cool look to it. And then I had him grab up the piece. I'll actually get the color that it actually is. And he made me a couple of these wood cookies. So this is about, I guess at its widest part, it's not perfectly round. It's about 10 inches wide. That's really all you need. Again, if you want a bigger board, get a bigger log. If you want a smaller board, I think it would look really, really cute if you use really tiny rocks and a really tiny wood cookie. I think that would be that would be on the go thing. So anyway, first you need your board. So this is going to be our board. This is going to be our tic-tac-toe board. Check. Got the tic-tac-toe board. Next, you're going to need rocks. This is where it gets fun because you get to go find your perfect selection of 10 rocks. You need 10 rocks because in the game of tic-tac-toe, there are 9 spots. So one person's going to go 4 times and one person's going to go 5 times. So depending on which person goes which, each player needs at least 5 rocks, okay? You can make more if you want to make it crazy and have a lot of them, or if one gets lost, has a couple of extras, but at least 10, okay? Now, here are my rocks. So they're all you want them to be all around the same size rocks, okay? It's up to you what shape you want. I am finding that the odder the shape rock, the cuter the little bug it makes. But really it's up to you. I like the smoother rocks. These are kind of like riverbed rocks. So these were, kind of tumbled in the water a little bit. So they're nice and smooth. They're not quite gravel. But you see that they're all around the same size. And again, it depends on your side board. These aren't really, really huge. These are about the size of like, a little bit bigger than a quarter, but that's because I don't have a huge board, okay? If I had a bigger board, I would get bigger rocks. So have your rocks, wash them really, really well, and then set them out to dry on a piece of paper towel, and you're ready to go with your rocks. Remember, you need 10 of them. So we have our board, and we have our little pieces to play. Now we just need the stuff that we're gonna need to actually make it look like this picture. Okay, so that means we need paint. So I have a couple of colors of paint going on. Well, when I say a couple, I have 4 colors of paint. I have white, red, black, and yellow, okay? These are all acrylic paints. It doesn't really matter what type of paint you use. I picked acrylic because once it's dry, it's pretty water resistant. It's not gonna wash off or anything like that. I will say that that means it's a little bit harder to scrub out of things. So make sure you're either A, wearing clothes you don't care about as much, or mom doesn't care about as much. But then also, maybe use a temperate paint, that's not a big deal either. Just make sure that you have a surface. I'm using a piece of cardboard that I'm gonna paint on. That way it's not gonna get everywhere. Now, of course, since we have paint, we also need paintbrushes. Now I have a couple of different sizes here, and I recommend you do as well. If you have a couple of different size paintbrushes in your at your home, because you want some tiny ones to do some detail stuff, you want some big ones to draw that big line and everything, and then you want some medium-sized ones to help you with the rocks. I have a couple of different ones just because I like to give my yellow a yellow paintbrush and my red a red paintbrush. That way I don't have to worry about rinsing things. But if you don't have that many paintbrushes at home, again, remember I have like a whole arts and crafts shed here. This is water. Just use some water, rinse them off, and then don't forget to like wipe them on a paper towel a lot of times so then you can see that the color's gone by the end of it, so you don't mix your colors or anything. I don't know if you want an orange ladybug. That would look cool though. We do have orange ladybugs, but they're invasive. So we got our board, our piece of wood. We have our rocks. We have our paint, and we have our paintbrushes. So we're almost ready to go here. We also have our surface here that's ready to go, and we're all good. So let's start with our board. Oh, also have some handy dandy paper towels handy because messes happen, and it'll help us in the end there. So for our board, this is how my log, my wood cookie started off looking after it was cut. It looks like this. It's thicker. That's okay. I like it. Again, I really like the bark on it, so that's kind of what I wanted to keep. So you have this nice surface right here. Now, when it started off, it wasn't that nice. Can you guys see? Very, very rough, okay? So I did sand it. See how smooth it is now? I did sand it. Now you can just use a piece of sandpaper to do that, or if you know someone, again, this is all adult supervision, that can help you sand it with, an electric sander or something like that, even better. But again, you don't have to sand it. I just think if you have a smoother surface and a piece of sandpaper, you can do that really quickly with especially a really piece of dead wood like this was. A piece of sandpaper, just rub, nice circles and all around there, and then that'll just get off any pieces that are gonna mess up your paint job there at the end. So, piece of wood. Now, I decided that I wanted to make mine look a little bit more like the picture. So I decided to stain my wood a darker color, okay? And this is just a rub-on stain. Again, I just found it. And we have dark wood here at camp, so that's the color I picked. But if you have any in your home, if you stained anything, you can do that. But again, you don't have to. You could also paint it if you wanted to paint it a cool color with your paints. Just remember, whatever you do to this, then you have to let it dry. And it usually takes about 24 hours for anything that you put on this for it to dry so that you can then paint your tic-tac-toe board on it. So that's why this could take 24 hours. And that's why I've already done it, because I don't want, you guys to have to wait for the finished product. So once that is dry, just like this one is, or do I want, yeah, I'm gonna use this one. Once that's dry, just like this, nice and smooth, this is the side that I did, this side is still blank. I'm going to paint my tic-tac-toe board right onto it. So we're gonna get that out of the way, and then we'll start focusing on our pieces, okay? So, here it is. I'm going to take my large paintbrush, and I'm going to use my white paint. Now again, like I said, this is acrylic. So if you make a mistake, you've kind of made a mistake. There's there's really no going back. But I have multiple other wood cookies that I can use. So it's always good to have extras. And also, we're crafting here. If it doesn't look perfect, it's okay. It's tic-tac-toe. It doesn't have to look perfect. Okay? Now, if you are not confident in your ability to draw 4 straight lines, because remember, a tic-tac-toe board, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's okay. Use a pencil, use a ruler, and draw your lines, and then paint over them. I'm just gonna, eyeball it, and I'm just gonna go for it. Again, if it doesn't look great, that's okay. I'm gonna emphasize right here that I am a crafty person, not an artistic person. So I like to do these types of things. They don't always turn out the most pretty, but I'm good with it. So what I'm doing, my technique, if you can call it that, is I'm doing nice short strokes to make that line. And again, I want it to kind of be in like the widest part. Make those lines as long as I can make them. And you make them just as thick as you want to. But again, I want it to look a little rustic. It's on a piece of wood. If the line doesn't look perfect, that's okay. But there you go. There's my first line. It's not bad. It's a little shaky, but it's not bad. So then I'm going to go, now, take one of your rocks. If you're not sure how far apart to put your other line, take one of your rocks, put it in there, and then you can kind of see how far away you need your line to be from your other line. Because you don't really want your rocks, your little pieces, to overlap them. You don't want them to be too small. So that's a good size right there. And I'll move my rock out just so it's not in my way. And then I'm just going to make another line. Now, you can get help doing this if you need help from a parent to help you with this project. But again, it doesn't matter if you mess up. That's what the other side of the wood cookie is for. You can always just turn that over and start again. Okay, cool. There's my other line. Now I got 2 lines, okay? They're not perfectly parallel, but they look good enough for us. They're doing the thing that we want to do. So I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do it again, getting a little bit more paint. And then I'm going to make another line. Now again, I'm going to kind of make it so I have a little bit of space there. Just keep going across, doing those short little strokes, getting more paint on my brush if I need it. There we go. We're getting there. One more. And again, I'm going to take my rock, I'm going to put it in the middle there just so I know how much space I need. About that much. Move my rock so I don't get white paint on it. Awesome. Keep going. Now, the other great thing about acrylic paint is that it dries really, really quickly. Acrylic paint dries really quickly. So you don't have to really worry about once, give it 15 minutes and it's going to be dry. And you're going to be able to add details and stuff to it and all that. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now, as you can see, I decided to do white, and that's just because I have a darker color log. But you can do it any color you want. In the picture, they did black. That's fine. It almost looks like in the picture they almost wood burned it, which would be really, really cool if you have just like a wood burner. Oh, hi, Rich. Good to see you. But again, do whatever color you want. So this is done. This is done for now. Now, if you did mess up on it, like if one of your lines is skinnier, just get a smaller paintbrush, and use that for the white, and you can fill in any of the gaps that you missed. And you can fix the edges. If you wanted your edges to be all squared off, you can do that with your tiny paintbrush. Feel free to get in there. I sometimes have the too much gene, and I keep working it until it's not going to work anymore. So once it's close enough, walk away from it and you can come back and you can fix it later. So we're going to put this aside and we're going to now focus on my favorite part of this, is making our little play pieces. Now, we're going to pull up our rocks. Again, we have 10 of them. You're going to pull them out. See, 10 rocks. And then you're just going to kind of separate out the ones that you want, which ones you want to be your ladybugs and which ones you want to be your bumblebees. Now, again, I'm doing my ladybug and bumblebee pattern, this pattern right here. Okay, very distinct. But again, you don't have to do that. Maybe you are not a fan of ladybugs. Maybe you're a traditionalist and you just want to do the X's and the O's. That's fine. Do the X's and the O's. Make them fun colors. Maybe you want to get creative and you want to do moons and suns. Do that too. Really, sometimes it depends what colors you can find in your home, like what color paint. Because if you can't find red paint, then it's going to be kind of difficult to do a ladybug. But maybe you have purple paint and you've decided to just make all minions. This is like so cool. Look at this. Look how cool that looks. Yeah, so the world is your oyster. You can do flowers. You could just like different color flowers. You could do butterflies. Doesn't have to be nature-based. You can do whatever you want. Or you could just paint them all one color if you want and just have, red ones and yellow ones or blue ones versus orange ones. This is where you can have your creativity go. But remember, you need to have 5 that look the same and then another 5 that look the same, okay? You need to know whose teams they are. So if you want to do like all different flower colors, like multiple different flowers, that's awesome. Then do all different bugs for the other one. Really, really cool. They'll all look different, but then you'll know the flower team and the bug team. So, world's your oyster. Do what you want to do. I'm going to do ladybugs and bumblebees because I have that paint. So, first things first, I want to make sure you guys can see this, is you're going to take your paintbrush. I'm going to do my ladybug painting first. You're going to have both of these things going at once because you're going to see here in a second. Now this is going to get on your fingers. Just be aware. That's okay. Wear gloves if you want to. You can put it on your little mat and kind of paint it like this, but sometimes that's hard to get. And then you're just going to start painting. I'm just going to paint, and remember, you don't have to paint the bottom of it. You just have to paint the part that's going to show. So you get your fingers there around the sides. Everything, get that paint all over. There we go. Oh, make sure we get the front of it. Okay, so now you see how that's not that even of a coat? You can kind of see the color of the rock through it. These rocks, even though acrylic paint is really good at coverage, it's going to take a couple of layers. I've noticed about 3 layers of paint to really get a solid color. Now, if you don't mind the non-solid color, awesome, that's fine. But you really do, but the cool thing is that you have, 5 rocks to do all in red. Paint all of your red rocks first, and then move on to your yellow rocks, paint all your yellow rocks their first coat, and then go back to your red rocks and paint the second coat. By the time you're done with your second coats, you're ready for your third coat. So it only takes a couple of minutes for the acrylic paint to dry long enough that you can add another coat. That's, again, why we're using acrylic paint. It's awesome. So while we're waiting for our red one there to dry, we're going to do our yellow one. Now, I've already made a mistake, but it's okay. I had a little bit of red paint on my hands. There's now red paint on this rock. This rock has now become a ladybug. That's why we have 10 rocks for these types of mistakes. So that looks like a good bumblebee rock. So again, I've switched paintbrushes, but if you want to rinse your paintbrush, go ahead, use the same paintbrush. That'll give your rocks even more time to dry. So go for it. And we're going to paint all around our little rock. Now remember what I said at the beginning, your rocks don't have to be perfectly round. I know in that picture, the rocks look like really, really perfectly round. But again, I'm finding that the odd-shaped rocks are making the cutest little bugs. So if you are someone who really needs your rocks to be the same shape, you might need to go to order them online, craft store, that type of thing. Walmart, you can find those decorative rocks that people use in like their flower pots and things. You can find those too. That are all the same size. So here's my yellow. You see how you can see the rock color through it? So we're going to let that dry. Now, fast forward, okay? Because I'm not going to make you guys watch me watch paint dry. That sounds very boring. So we are going to fast forward to pow. Look at that rock. Look at the difference. So this is about 3 coats. This is 1 coat. So it does make a difference. So pow. So Next, we're going to, now that this rock's all dry, it's all red, it has its 3 coats, now we're going to start to add the detail, and my detail is going to be in black, because, you know, we need our ladybug to have a little head, and we need to have its, you know, known spots and everything like that. So, I'm using a paintbrush that has a little bit more of a point. You see how it's pointed there? It's going to help me with the detail, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit of paint, get my little rock, and I'm going to decide which part is going to be the head of my ladybug. It's going to be right here. And we're just going to paint a nice little round circle there to be the head of my ladybug. There we go. There. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to sit on top of a log, so it's okay. See? Little head of a ladybug. Now, ladybugs, they also have like wings in the back, so I'm going to draw a straightish, let's be honest, a straightish line down the back of my rock to form my ladybug wings. Again, I'm doing kind of short brush strokes just to make sure it goes a little bit straight and fills in all the way. So there you go. A straightish line. It's sort of straight. Nice. Okay, and then the fun part. Get a little bit. And dot, 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 dot. Now, I don't know if you guys like know that old superstition, like how many dots you see on the back of a ladybug. They're good luck. And that's how many years of good luck you're going to have. But they have to be real ladybugs, like the dark red ones, not the orange ones. Those guys aren't good luck. They are invasive, so they're not good luck. But there you go. Some dots on the back of our little ladybug. It looks like a ladybug. I'm going to fix that little thing right there. There we go. Perfect. Our little bug, our little ladybug. Okay, so I'm going to put that out to dry. We're going to do one more thing to that in a second there as soon as it dries. Sit there, little guy. Okay. And then we're going to take, pow, our bumblebee. So remember, this is what our bumblebee looked like with 1 coat. This is 3 coats. Big difference. So take the time and do a couple of coats. I know it's not as exciting, but it's worth it. Okay, for this one, let's do, what do you guys think? We'll do this end. We'll do the head on this side. So again, I'm going to take the black, same black I had. It doesn't matter that you're using the same paintbrush for these because your bugs are dry, so you're not going to be mixing your red and your yellows. And you're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to first make a little black head on top for my little bumblebee head. There we go. And now here comes a little bit of a harder part for those of us who are a little difficult for us to paint straight lines. So we're going to do that real quick. So we're going to paint that. And again, it does not matter if it's in a straight line or if it's not in a straight line. If it's like, if all the line is thick all the way or skinny all the way. See? So we're starting to make those lines across. I've been doing 3, but again, you can have your bumblebee have as many lines as you want. Make it look like whatever you think a bumblebee looks like all the way across. There you go. I'll do one more. Okay, so that last one got a little bit thick on me. That's okay. It doesn't matter because it's a bumblebee. Yeah, that's cool. So we got our bumblebee stripes up. I did the thing I told you guys I do. I messed with it and it made it worse. So sometimes you just leave it how it is and it'll be okay. So we got our bumblebee. We got our ladybug. Let me move these guys down a little bit so you guys can see. Bloop. So we got our bumblebee, we got our ladybug. They're all painted, they're drying. But I do have 2 of them that are already dried. So you see, this is one. And here's my other one. Actually, I have another one too. Yeah, I have all of them. Okay, now, detail work. This is where, again, you can do as much detail or as little detail as you want. This picture, they kind of stopped at this. They just put spots on things and stripes on things, and then they stopped. I'm gonna go a little farther. I'm gonna take this really, really tiny brush, see? And I'm gonna take my white, and I'm gonna give my ladybug and my bee a little bit of a face. This could go horribly wrong. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm definitely gonna give them eyes. I don't know about face. Maybe I'll give them a smile. But okay, so we're just gonna do 2 little dots for eyes. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a little smile, a little mouth. Okay, I'm happy with it. See? Yeah, little ladybug. It's good. It's awesome. I'm gonna do the same thing with my bumblebee. 2 little dots for eyes. And sometimes I do too much. A little smile, a little bumblebee. I like it. We're gonna keep it. So awesome. So once you've done all of that, once your ladybugs are all dried and everything's good, you're ready to make sure that your log is looking okay. Your board is looking good. Okay, so we're gonna put these, well, let me finish up my eyeballs. I had like a question. Oh, question is, do ladybugs smell? Oh, ladybugs do smell. Now these ladybugs don't smell. These are rocks. But yes, in the real world, ladybugs do have a smell. Only certain people can smell it. It's kind of like a stink bug. Not everyone can smell it, but they do have a smell to them. And it's a defense mechanism, just like our not so nice stink bugs have them for a defense mechanism. Ladybugs are the same way. They have a very distinct smell. It's hard to describe, just kind of like how stink bugs, I can smell them. I know when there's a ladybug in the room because I can smell a ladybug. I know it sounds crazy, but they do have a smell, and the smell wards off predators, as does the color of ladybugs. Ladybugs are this red and black color because birds are like, oh no, those aren't going to taste good. If I eat them, I'm not going to eat them. So they don't, because they do have a bit of a smell. You see, my mouths are going, I'm talking at the same time as I'm trying to paint, and my little smiles are becoming not so little. Okay, so I think we're all done here with all of our little bugs. I prepped these guys for you guys. So yeah, so you have your, let's do our quick review here. Making sure. Cool. So we're at the end of it. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little ladybugs. And then we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little bumblebees, okay? All of our little creatures right there. Oh, one's missing a face. I'll fix that. So those are our little guys, our little board. And we're gonna bring in our board. I actually have another board that I made a little bit. It's a big one. I actually kind of really like how this looks, being a little bit bigger. And then you're just going to, now you can decorate this if you would like. You can get some fake leaves and stuff, and you can put some decorations on. You can put some flowers on it. You can like write on it, tic-tac-toe. Again, make it your own. You can do whatever you want with it and make it look really, really cute. But then you can play with your friends. Don't forget, there's like a secret trick that you can make it so that you're gonna get there. This guy's gonna go there. This guy's gonna go there. Choom, choom. Oh, no one won. I'm too sorry. Oh no, ladybugs ran. Yay! So there you go, guys. Our cute little do-it-yourself tic-tac-toe board. Fun for the whole family. Something for the whole family to do, whether that's cutting down a log, cutting a log in half, or sanding something, painting, getting the paints ready, and then finding those rocks, because that's what usually takes the longest, is actually going out and finding the perfect rocks for your perfect little tic-tac-toe board. So, thanks so much, guys, for joining me today. Remember to check out our website, our Camp From Home website. That's where all of our videos are, our past videos, and you guys can check those out. You can also check out our YouTube channel, and those are also where you can find our videos and everything. So, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. See ya.